All right, this is Judy Mikovits. She wrote created one of the most popular videos. It was banned, Doctors in Black. It really tells how she's a professional in what she's done. And she's been banned, she's been abused, she's been threatened, she's been jailed, she's been persecuted without rights. So she knows about what she speaks.
Every single day, more data shows me that SARS-CoV-2 does.
SARS-CoV-2. Now, what we need to understand is they've been manipulating this stuff for a long time. But off this SARS-CoV-2, they've manipulated and bioengineered this COVID-19.
Does not equal COVID-19.
Does not equal, but they've engineered something like unto it.
People are fearful, or people are not fearful, and they've been forced to by the government, which tells you.
And that tells you that they're manipulating something. We talked about the manipulation of markets in September and October by the world banks, and that they were crashing, and the shadow bank industry. And I believe they're covering up and using this COVID-19 as a screen for what's really happening in the monetary and international banking markets worldwide, and that they're using this for a screen for what's really going on. And Robert Kiyosaki has talked about this several times. I think he's getting closer to the truth than a lot of other people.
Who's in control, or we're going to arrest you, or we're going to give you $1,000 fine, or whatever. So number one, that's stressful, and stress is a horrible suppressor of immune function. Being under stress, being under this situation, being controlled, you know what, there's no public health reason for this.
There's no public health reason for us wearing a mask. When I talked to and looked to several medical professionals that were really professionals, they will all tell you that medical training shows you that you use the mask once, under a situation you toss it away. You don't wear it for 4 to 8 hours. And same with the gloves. And this suppresses your immune system. This increases the chance of contamination. This increases your likelihood of starting viruses in your own body, as well as suppressing your immune system. But socially and psychologically, it's also a game of manipulation and control.
Mask for a coronavirus. Healthy people aren't coughing. You know, yes, if you're sick and you cough, you're not going to cough, 6 feet. So it has no public health benefit. You're not preventing anyone from getting infected. And yet, it's not impermeable. So you're still getting things. Oh, and if you've got that plastic mask on over your face, you're sweating, you're causing stress, you're activating your dormant viruses of all kinds, which take out the immune system, which suppress the immune system, and you're literally.
Now, when you wear these very high masks, viral masks, and glasses, you're causing your own body to reproduce or bring out viruses of all kinds, which adds added stress to a body that's already stressed. Then you couple it with energy from G5 and other things, and bad shots, and bad diet, bad environment, pollutants and toxins. You're really stressing the body out, and you're going to cause illnesses in the long run.
Driving your own disease. You know, it's from within, it's not from without. A dormant retrovirus is not expressed. We don't wear a mask to develop our immunity. And in fact, we're prolonging the disease by keeping everybody inside, preventing them from going out. What possible reason could you have to not go on the beach or go surfing? Who is that guy? They took a guy off a bodyboard here and arrested him or gave him a ticket or whatever for being on the beach. You can't walk on the beach. How do you ground yourself? How do you give your immune system a boost? How do you get, if you can't go out and walk except for the hours? You know, they told people in Paris you could only go out from 7 to 10 in the morning. We can't get any sunshine. So the measures they put on have nothing to do with public health and everything to do with making you sick and controlling you.
Everything to do with making you sick and controlling you. Think about that. Why are they doing this worldwide?
And forcing everybody to say, I want the vaccine. No, you don't want the vaccine. If you get the vaccine, not only will you still get sick and maybe die, but you will spread that further throughout the world. And it is my...
You'll spread that further throughout the world. Interesting. Abuse. Medical warfare, social warfare, psychological warfare. Abuse of power.
My thesis that this is vaccine driven, and it Dr. Suzanne Humphreys in her fabulous book, Dissolving Illusions, you know, shows that all of the worst outbreaks of smallpox were the vaccines, were vaccine programs.
All the worst outbreaks were vaccine programs. Holy cow, quote unquote.
I just told you there was a vaccine program associated with the Ebola outbreak, because when you vaccinate, you know, not only do you carry all that animal tissue with all of their little pathogens, but your immune response just flames up. There's too much garbage in those shots, and they're crippling. There isn't one vaccine that has ever produced a lasting memory immunity like I have to measles and to chickenpox, and that's the whole point. The vaccines don't work, and they cause the pandemics, they cause the epidemics, they cause the evolution, the accelerated evolution of new viruses. This coronavirus, together with a retrovirus that we isolated from people with chronic fatigue syndrome, with various kinds of cancers, leukemias, lymphoma, you know, a lot of diseases, including things like COPD. These mouse viruses, you know, appear to have entered the human virome by way of vaccines, by way of the polio vaccine, by way of, you know, MMR. And so the most vulnerable are the ones who have defects in their type 1 interferon pathways, and in whom they have susceptibilities to not be able to control the inflammation. The word flame is right in the middle of inflammation, and that's the disease. This is, you know, the early, most of our work in the last few weeks being told it was a coronavirus, then looking at it and saying, no, that coronaviruses don't do that. They don't cause coagulopathies, blood diseases, thromboplatelet disorders, clotting disorders. They don't cause that. And certainly the XMR and, you know, the retroviruses do. And so
the retroviruses do. So this has been purposely mislabeled as well. Interesting.
Since viruses and microbes rarely travel alone, they need to dysregulate different arms of the immune system, because the immune system says, that's just a coronavirus. Here, let's send out some type 1 interferon. And we got this under control. SARS-CoV-2 plus XMRVs, mouse retroviruses, you know, put into people by forced vaccines for at least 30 years of heavily contaminated and dirty vaccines, and the group in Italy proved it as well. So the flu vaccines will have retroviruses, the polio vaccines will have retroviruses, the polio or mouse, there's some bird ones in the flu. So here your government is saying, get the flu shot, get the flu shot. Oh yeah, and that will kill you very quickly, especially if you have an underlying XMRV infection that we've been able to successfully treat with natural products, and just as we were in type 1 interferon, just as we were in cannabis, medical cannabis for HIV/AIDS.
So you better get away from the shots and you better get back to medical products, whole foods that really work. This is a warning. It's a warning. We've created these pandemics by the abuse of virus, of shots. We've created it by the abuse, medical abuse of shots, vaccines. Unreal. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Get into whole foods and boost your immune system that way, and forget about the shots. Get into GNLD, get your sunshine, get into oils, get into whole foods. It's Roger Martin from Billings, Montana. Good day.